switched to the little mic since it doesn't pick up as much noise as my other mics do. So that's where we are now. So disregard any things you hear. So number one on my list on what I would tell my 20-something-year-old self: time waits for no one. When you're in your 20s, you feel as if, oh, I'm still young, I have time to do this, I have time to do that. If nothing has taught you anything in the last 3 years, time waits for no one. You know, nothing is guaranteed, and tomorrow is not guaranteed. So stop putting things off that you think you have time for. You know, like, for instance, oh, I want to go back to school, but I still got time. Do it now. Or I want to change careers, or I want to start YouTube, or I want to start doing merch, or, you know, I hear it so many times. I see it in comments. I see it on TV. Even like talking to the guys upstairs, you know, they have so many ideas for like extra money, but nothing has been done about it, you know. And I keep saying, well, have you started, you know, whatever? And they'll say, oh, well, you know, we got time for that. And I'm like, time waits for no one. You know, again, it doesn't matter what age you are, time waits for no one. And again, tomorrow is not guaranteed. So start something today if you can, but stop putting things off, because time will, listen, time flies by fast. Next thing you know, it's like 5 years. So number two, nothing is guaranteed. I remember when I was 20, you know, I used to have this attitude that, you know, this job I'll have forever, or this relationship will be forever. Nothing in this world is guaranteed. And I've realized that in life you need to have a plan A, B, and C. I'm just being honest. For me, I always have A, B, and C, you know. But just know that nothing is guaranteed, nothing is promised, and nothing is guaranteed in this life. Number three, do not waste money on education if you're not sure on what you want to do. I think the worst thing that anyone can do in their 20s is to go to college but not know what they want to do. Nobody has time to be in school longer than they want to be. Nobody has the money to be fishing out extra money just because you're not sure. So I always say to my youngsters, if you don't know what you want to do in life, wait. Do you know how much money I spent on student loans just trying to figure myself out? I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars, and it's not even worth it, because at the end of the day, I'm 42, and what I graduated from school from is not what I went to school for is not what I graduated from school now. You know, I have changed careers so many times, but in that time frame, I racked up a lot of student loans. So if you're not sure about your education, it's okay. But, you know, like if you know you're going into the medical field, you know, you can go to school, start doing your basics. But if you're not sure, like if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a correction officer, those are three totally different careers, and you don't want to start I'm young, I still have time, and I keep saying, okay. But yeah, don't be lazy about anything. Just do it. 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 Because again, time waits for no one. No one. And again, I keep saying this in all my videos, but it's okay to think outside the box. You don't always have to think like others. Thinking outside the box will get you far. Think about what I'm saying, peoples. Thinking outside the box will get you far. Next on my list is get insurance. I never understood how important insurance was until I got sick, until my attack, but especially when I got sick. You don't, in your 20s, you think, oh, I don't need insurance, I'm healthy. But insurance comes with everything else. Like if you break your leg, if you get into a car accident, even if you get COVID, medications are not cheap at all. And so in your 20s, you don't think about stuff like that, like 401ks for your job and having a savings account. Just, you need to think ahead. But insurance and dental is so important, because once you don't have it, you wish you had it, I promise you. And people think, oh, medical bills and school bills don't ruin your credit. Who lied to you? Who lied to you? pronounce it because I know it's because of some people's religion. But god damn it, no. No. But anyway, my point is, don't have peer pressure. Don't be pressured into everyone you meet you're supposed to marry in your 20s. I mean, date, have fun, be protected, but have fun. I'm not saying you sleep with everyone that you meet, but you know, there's so many people out there. Another thing, if people want to walk out of your life, let them walk. I remember in my 20s, I used to be like, well, why doesn't so-and-so like me? And, oh my God, what do you mean you don't want to talk to me? And when you meet on me, now it's like, you don't want to be in my life? Bye. Like, I'm not going to sit here and beg anyone to be my friend. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to beg anyone to be around me if they don't want to. I'm not begging anyone to date me. I'm just not doing it. If you don't want to be my friend, then you don't want to be my friend. If you don't like me, you don't like me. Most likely, I don't like you either. But I'm just saying that, you know, yeah, if people don't want to be around you, let them go. Let them go. Don't hold on to baggage if you don't need to. Let it go. Just let it go. Also, too, gossiping can get you into so much trouble. And I think in your 20s, you need to know when to shut up and when to just listen. Because I remember at 20, people used to come to me all the time for advice, and I'm always the honest person. But yet, sometimes people don't want honesty. They just want you to listen, or they just kind of want you to side with them, or just have a listening ear. You know, but know the difference. But gossip can make your 20s hell. And another thing, ladies, if you have a man, all your girlfriends should not have his phone number. There should be no reason why your boyfriend and your girlfriend should be texting or hanging out or anything like that. Another thing, don't chase people. Only thing you should be chasing is a dream. That's it. Because I promise you, at the end of the day, people are not chasing you. So, you know. Okay. Don't be scared. That should be probably number one on my list, but don't be scared. People are scared to, you know, go back to school. People are scared to have an interview, school, jobs, anything. Let me explain something to you. I promise you, I hate recording during the day in my apartment. I hate it. You know, between the dog and then we just had cop cars come zooming through here with their sirens. Anyway, don't be scared to try anything. I was saying school, job, interview. Do you know how many times I was afraid to go to like a job interview or whatever, and then afterwards I would get in the car and I would say, that's what I was scared about, or oh my god, that was nothing, or you know, people have to remember we're all human, you know, and just take a breather. 8 out of 10. A lot of times it's not as bad as you think. I remember when I went back to school for medical, and I had such anxiety for my very first test, and you know, I studied and I kept saying, what happens if this teacher is really strict, and what happens if she asks this and she asks that, and I probably memorized that entire chapter. And then when I got the test, I was like, this is bullshit. It was like 1, 2, 3. So my point is that sometimes we psych ourselves out of things that we don't need to. A lot of times it's just another human talking to another human, you know. So just what you want to do, and you go back to school, then you go in for an interview for the job that you want, everything becomes a lot easier. But I remember in my 20s, like going for job interviews, I used to be so like basically throwing up in my car, and then I would get in my car and I'd be afterwards and I'd be like, oh, that was nothing, oh, that was simple, or the guy was so nice, or it's just not as bad as you think. Now, I'm not saying that I haven't had asshole interviews, but that's why I said 8 out of 10 times, whether it's school, job, whatever, it's never as bad as you think. I put living alone is a must, but I also explain that I think everyone should live alone. Get to know what type of food you like, how you like to keep your place kept. Like for me, I know I don't want nobody with their shoes on in my house. I know about my grocery list. I just know where things should be put. I just know, but when you don't have any idea, it's like you follow what someone else does, but when you live by yourself, you just know you better. And then on top of that, living by yourself, you learn how to do for yourself, as far as like, bringing in the groceries and doing laundry on a certain day and making sure you don't run out of stuff, and like grocery list, shopping for deals, coupons, all that stuff. That's all grown people stuff. All grown people stuff. So, but yeah, live alone. I think you grow up faster. No, I don't think you do grow up faster when you live alone. Yeah, like you get into, like, for instance, for me, I don't cook past 7. I don't eat past 8. I have my own cleaning regimen that I do here. Just, I don't know. Like, there's certain things I will say to my mother, and she'd be like, oh, what made you think of that? I'd be like, I don't know. I had to figure it out. And she'd be like, oh, that's such a good idea. But see, that all comes with, again, living alone and learning you and doing for yourself, besides relying on others. And you also become very independent because you learn how to pay rent on time, bills, cable, phone, everything else. So, also too, in your 20s, you don't think about it, but always make sure you have a little extra in the bank for those rainy days, like for gas, because gas is like $10 a gallon now. Maybe you need a new tire, or something in life always comes up, and you don't want to be that person that doesn't have, like, money saved in the bank. So if you can, try to at least save like $120 per paycheck if you can, and then that can accumulate. So on a rainy day, if something does happen, at least you have funds for that. These are things that I never thought about when I was in my 20s. I promise you I didn't. Okay. Now I have 2 things here. Okay, I have here, be realistic. Now, I have that, and I have a couple things here. Be realistic as far as understanding things, buying a car, friendships, goals, relationships. Let's break it down, shall we? Number 1, buying a car. I remember one of my cousins, he bought a car, and he was in his 20s, he bought a car, and he said to me that his payments was almost $1,000 a month, and that did not include insurance. What? Why are we buying a car with a car payment for $1,000? Like, that to me is so bogus, because I to settle down. Some people are not. You know, in your 20s, you're supposed to make mistakes. You're supposed to figure out your life. But in the same sense, you know, just be careful. Yeah, I wrote here, free your mind and the rest will follow. It's so true. Like, I actually have this I don't give up attitude. I do. As I've gotten older and everything that has happened to me, I am quick to cut a bitch off. I am, because I don't have time for the jokes, the nonsense. I don't have it. I don't have the time or the patience, I should say. You know, I am 100% real and honest, and I expect the same for whoever's in my circle. And if I feel that's broken, you got to go, because I know I have a lot of issues, and I just don't have time for it. I don't. If you're mentally draining me, you have to go. You know, I don't like people who always say things like, oh, we can do this, we can do that, and then when it comes down to it, they don't. You know, stop giving me false hope or promises knowing that you don't want to do it or not capable of doing it. You know, I don't have time for that. So my I don't give a fuck attitude, it's just that when you stop worrying about other people like that, your mind becomes free. It becomes unclogged of bullshit, you know, and it gives you more time to focus on yourself. I know some people think that I don't give a fuck attitude is harsh, but it's working for me. It can get lonely at times, but that's just because I keep my circle small for many reasons.